tell you one thing, that
Hey, when my girls start to trip and hate before escape, I call Sirius XM 98. Yeah, Thursdays at Foxxhole 7 to 9 to talk to ZoWilliams before I lose my mind. Yo, I need advice on my relationship, cause I'm about to start breaking. I can't take it no more. I got to holler at Zo, the relationship pro. Before I pack up and go, I got my foot out the door and down for leaving. But first, let me holler at Zo, the voice of reason. I got one foot out the door and down for leaving. But first, let me holler at Zo, the voice of reason.
Ladies and gentlemen, back in the studio after a 2-week hiatus, the voice of reason, Zomethius Rising, has returned to the Foxxhole. You better get to your phone lines. You know how I do. I missed the studio, so you know the phone lines are hot right now. 855-369-9898. That is your special key to get into the voice of reason to express and voice your opinion on tonight's topic. 855-369-9898. Really quickly, that's 855-FOX-9898. You can follow us on Twitter at Foxxhole. That's FOXXHOLE. Or follow me right now at ZoWilliams. That's at ZoWilliams. Tonight's topic, in the voice of reason, the sexually anorexic marriage. Tips on how to rekindle passion and intimacy into a comatose love life. Do you know the stats say there are over 40.5 million people that are currently languishing in a sexless marriage? How does a sexless marriage occur? We've got doctors, we've got special guests, we've even got a new host coming on that's going to talk about it as well. We've got people from all over the spectrum. I'll be back in a few minutes to introduce people, but trust me, tonight's topic is going to be on fire. The sexually anorexic marriage. Tips on how to rekindle passion and intimacy into a comatose love life. The voice of reason, Foxxhole Radio. Call me right now. Pull over the trucks. Call everybody. Tell them I'm on. Let's get busy. 855-369-9898. I'll be back in 2.2, and we'll deal with this topic. Woo! Rick James was on that dust when he created this one. You could just hear the cocaine dripping out of him. It's a hell of a drug. Let me reset our topic tonight. The sexually anorexic marriage, man. We've got some great people on tonight that's going to help us figure out how to rekindle when the spark is lost. How many of you had a baby? And after the baby, you know, the couple had a baby. Before baby, it was sex. It was humpy-dulo. It was humpalicious in the house. But then after the baby, the sex drive changed. How many of you going through that? A lot of people are experiencing a sexless marriage. Let me hit you with a couple of questions before I bring in my first guest. True or false? 40 million Americans are in a low sex or no sex marriage. Another question. How can mix-matched sex drives lead a couple to becoming a sexless relationship? Sometimes, you know, our idea of frequency, you know, might be different. You know, say we're doing it 4 times a week. And one person in that couple might be like, this is way too much. You are, you know, damaging the vulva, right? And the lady might be like, this is not enough, or this is not enough. I'm not getting enough. A lot of times, depending on the person, what you think is too much might be not enough, and vice versa, right? Ladies, is your husband or a significant other a heavy smoker? If so, does his heavy smoking negatively affect his sexual performance? There's study out there, research that says smoking jacks up the penile pump power. I don't know. 855-369-9898. We got professionals on to talk about it. And another very interesting question here. What's your stance on pornography? Can watching it raise or lower your bedroom's intimacy thermometer? Some people will try to reenact some of the porn tricks. They don't understand it, you know. Nobody lasts 37 minutes or 59 minutes. That's editing. I don't know. Some people try to, break them off like that. I don't know. And here's an even more important question. Does the potential boredom of a prolonged monogamous relationship lead to intimacy's disrepair? A lot of times you just in a relationship so damn long with somebody. It's like, God damn, the same crackers week in, week out. A lot of people don't know. They don't have the tools to make it new, right? Ladies, if your man asked you to install a pole in your bedroom and take stripper classes to increase intimacy, would you be down? A lot of people, you thought you had a freak, but you married a nun. She's not giving you none. How many of you are in a sexless marriage? Talk to me tonight, 855-369-9898. I'm telling you, is your partner allowed to seek fulfillment elsewhere if you're not providing it? A lot of people going out there high and dry right now. Somebody call me, tell me, share your story with me, man. Share your stories. Ladies, call me, share your stories. Is your dude simply not giving you enough? Do you want round 2 and he's laying there with an empty water balloon? Somebody call me, 855-369-9898. That's what I need to know. Now, let me bring in my special guest. If you don't know, now you know. The Foxxhole has a new show starting on July 11th. This guy's absolutely incredible. During our Atlantic City tour, I'm telling you, we took over Atlantic City. It was off the chain. We were in every casino. We had events all over the place. Fox was on every show. Fox performed. Erykah Badu was there. Sade was there. It was bananas. When I tell you, comedy show, we killed Atlantic City. And we did a relationship roundtable at Redding's Restaurant, myself and this gentleman. His name is none other than Dr. Mitch, new Foxxhole Radio host, show to begin July 11th, Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dr. Mitch, come on in and talk to us, man.
Hey, voice of reason, Zoe. We did kill Atlantic City. I mean, we killed it.
They don't know. They don't know.
We had so much fun. It was absolutely amazing, and it'll be as amazing, if not better, the topic you picked tonight. I love this topic. I really like where you're going tonight.
Come on, Dr. Mitch, talk to us right now. Why are people in sexless marriages? What are the causes, and how can we remedy them?
Well, there's lots of causes of sexless marriages. Most of the time, it's psychological. It's typically people are on the same thing for the same long period of time. It's like, I explained this to someone today. Actually, a patient today said to me, you know what, Dr. Mitch, I just can't have an erection like I used to have. And I said, before we start looking into 100 things, tell me about yourself, how long you've been married. So he says, well, I've been with the same woman since I was 14 years old, and he's like about 54 now. I said, well, before we go into looking for a whole host of things that could be wrong, tell me, have you tried yourself? I mean, you're having erectile dysfunction. Have you tried this yourself? And he said, no, doc, I haven't. I said, well, could it be the same old thing? It's like when you buy a car, the first week you have it, it's the most amazing car. But by the third year and your lease is up, you can't wait to get a new one. and that's exactly what happens to so many marriages. We fail to keep it fresh all the way through. We somehow lose that freshness. And I think a lot of that 40.5 million that you talked about on the opening show is related to that particular issue. Plus other, there are physical manifestations of problems as well, but a good portion of them are psychological, and they have to be identified, and we have to think of ways to help them. And, of course, you tonight, Zoe, are going to probably give them some great ideas like you always do.
Absolutely, man, and I'm really pleased to have you on. And let me do one other thing. I have somebody very special in studio. I told you about this young lady, Dr. Mitch, in our conversation. This sister here, she's been on my show many times. She's awesome. And let me just tell you, Dr. Mitch, I wish you could be here to visually see her. Yes, man, she's fucking gorgeous. I mean, she's beautiful. I didn't mean to say that. My bad. She's a certified clinical sexologist whose main focus is in helping individuals and couples maintain sexually healthy and bountiful lives, right? She got her undergraduate degree from Arizona State University. I don't want to read this. It's like an encyclopedia. You have a lot of credentials. We know you're the business because you've been here before. Without further ado, none other than Dr. Alex Moran is in the building. Hey, sexy.
Hey, Zo.
Exact. I wish you guys could see her. What's your Facebook page so people can find you?
It is Aaron Alex Moran at Facebook.com. Welcome me back. Thank you, Foxxhole. It's been a while, and I'm happy to be back, and hopefully we're here to answer some questions for you and bring a little insight and some tips into
really quickly,
ways.
Really quickly, Dr. Alex and Dr. Mitch, I'm glad you guys are on together. Let's do it this way. Really, what are the top 2 things you would prescribe to a person that's in a sexually anorexic marriage? First, Dr. Moran, then Dr. Mitch. Wrap it.
Well, prescriptions, I'm going to have to go with communication is the top one always. And there's so many questions you can get into and really have to delve into what exactly is going on because there is no universal prescription for a relationship.
So what if the prescription is this? You got a little baby, because babies always ruin the intimacy, in my opinion. Although they may have been conceived in intimacy, can children become an intimacy killer in relationship, or is this natural selection at its finest? The baby is here, he doesn't want you to make another one, so he's going to keep peeking in while you and the baby's mom are trying to get it on. What's happening there when the baby is, like, if you had a new baby and every time you guys want to get together the baby cries or something like that? How do you remedy that? Because a lot of people are going through it. Talk to me.
Well, for one, you're going to have the actual setting of time, setting time aside to have sex. I know it sounds tedious, but, you set time to get your hair and nails done. Why not set time to have sex? And another thing is it's like pure exhaustion in the baby situation, especially in the beginning. Who feels like going at it for a nice 2 hours, or whatever the case is, when you have been chasing screaming baby all day long? What do you think, Dr. Mitch?
I like what you're saying, Dr. Alex. Fatigue and stress are a big, big issue. We are a stressed out nation. We're worried about money. We're worried about the babies. We're worried about where we're living. We're worried about the mortgage. And when all that worry, who's got time really to perform? When you're under a lot of pressure, and I think this society is under a lot of pressure to perform in a marriage or outside the marriage. And I think we need to find something new. I think you need to take your time, find a great place to be, go on a vacation. If not a vacation, a mini vacation within your house. Dress up the house differently. Change the music. Make it a night that it's your night. I like what Dr. Alex was saying. You got to find time. You find time for your nails and everything else. Come on, find some time for your mate as well. And the second thing, Zoe and Dr. Alex, from my perspective, is you have to, if that's not working, and it's not a psychological issue, and I know we'll talk about this a lot tonight, we need to see the physiologic issues because there are lots, both on a female and the male side. And I know we'll get into that.
Dr. Mitch, can you do this really quickly? Because I love what you're saying. Give me 2 for men and 2 for women real quick, because we will revisit. But you said there are lots of physiological issues for both sides. Just give me 2 for the women and 2 for the men.
I'm going to do 2 for the men first. It's easy. Circulatory embarrassment, meaning you're not getting enough blood flow down there. Remember, the penis is an organ that requires really good blood flow. And when there's not good blood flow, you're not going to get the erection that you require. And hence the reason you're seeing all these types of pills that dilate or bring in blood supply to the penis. The other thing, which is probably even the bigger issue, is as we're aging and we have stress and we have diseases and we have other things happening to us, our hormones begin to break off significantly. On the female side, we're seeing similar. The hormones begin to break off. And in addition to that, you begin to get those things where you're getting a dry vaginal area. It's not lubricated as well as it was before. You're getting spasm. You're getting atrophy. Basically, hormonal changes as well. And I know we'll get into that tonight more, Zoe, but I think that's a beginning.
So really quickly, Dr. Mitch and Dr. Alex Moran, we've got a couple on the line. Are you guys willing to deal with some of these people's problems?
Let's hear
of course
what you
we
got.
are.
Hey,
Yeah,
man, I
let's
love
do
it. I love the voice of reason. I love all the callers. The phone lines are open, 855-369-9898. You want to participate in the Sexually Anorexic Marriage Show? We're giving out tips on how to rekindle passion and intimacy into a comatose love life. Wayne and Dawn, couple out of New York, you're on. Let's go.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, we good. We good. Talk to us about the situation.
First of all, we're calling to say that we don't have problems. As a matter of fact, we recently got in contact with a TV show about it, and they wanted us on just so we could talk about how happy we were. But considering I'm African American, I want to keep my man with me. I said, oh, no, we're not showing up on TV.
Right. I tried to convince her to let me go, but she wasn't going for it. So.
No, was not going for it. But we're not having problems. We're one of those people that, honestly speaking, when I talk to a lot of my friends, and I ask them, like, what's going on, most of my female friends say they're so disgusted with their male for other issues. The last thing they're thinking about is making him happy. So they're holding back on purpose. Point blank.
You trying to tell me they're holding out and using the coochie, the yogurt maker, as a power play?
But it's also a matter of, I'm disgusted with you. And these are people that have been together 15, 20 years with like 12 and 9-year-old children. It's one of my, I'm with the kids all day. You go to work, you come home, you're chilling, you're hanging with the boys, you find excuses to go have your little private time. I'm still being super mom and, working, doing this and that. And then when all else is said and done and the kids are in bed and I clean up the house and I did all of this, now you want me to come and deal with your moral needs?
So really, I think this is a great point that Dawn is making here. Resistance and resentment go hand in hand, and they work as blockers to intimacy. Correct, Dr. Alex? Dr. Mitch, is that true in some way?
Well, this is Dr. Mitch. It's absolutely true. People, once they get aggravated about anything, first of all, their hormones themselves will begin to turn off. That's number one. Number two, when people get angry, they're going to use any weapon when they don't have good conflict resolution skills. They're going to use a weapon against their mate. What's the best weapon to use against the male? Hey, you're not getting anything tonight or tomorrow night or forever. That's a major problem. What they're saying is great, which brings me to a question for Wayne and Dawn. How come you don't have problems? What's your secret? Tell everybody about that. I'd like to hear it.
Wow, that's good stuff.
What I do, I try to make my wife feel like she's the most special person in the world, at least to me. I know that I'm not perfect. I'm not proclaiming that at all, but I put my family ahead of myself, and the things that I do for my children and my wife, we usually can work through anything that we may have a problem with.
And by the way, we have 7 children.
Wow.
Wow. Good
You
for
guys
them.
love each other. So look, let me do this really quickly. Dawn and husband, check this out. This is what we're going to do. We're going to come back to you guys. Dawn and Wayne, we got to take a quick break, but I want you guys to hang on the line. We're going to come right back to you. Get to your phone lines right now, 855-369-9898. That's 855-FOX-9898. You're listening to the ZoWilliams Voice of Reason show on Foxxhole Radio, Sirius XM 98. I'm telling you, the Sexually Anorexic Marriage. Man, a lot of people are going through it. Tips on how to rekindle passion and intimacy in a comatose love life. Call me right now, 855-369-9898, or follow me on Twitter at ZoWilliams. We doing it right now. I'll be back in 2 seconds. How many of you are asking your wife or husband, how many of you are saying, I want your sex? A lot of people are sexless out there. And as if marriages weren't going through enough hell, high divorce rate, a lot of people are saying the divorce rate is pushed by sexless marriages. Not just economy issues, but I'm not getting any. I want some, and you're not giving me any. A lot of people, marriage is kind of tough. Let me ask you this question before I reset the topic here. The sexually anorexic marriage, before I do that. How does lying, lack of trust, poor listening skills, or the inability to express your needs kill intimacy in relationships. Call me right now. We're talking about the sexually anorexic marriage or relationship, because a lot of people are cohabitating now. Those numbers are rising. Tips on how to rekindle passion and intimacy into a comatose love life. You're listening to the voice of reason, Zometheus Rising, on Foxxhole Radio, Sirius XM 98. Call me right now, 855-369-9898. Check this out. We got another special guest. I'm not going to bring her in right now, but she's a first-year porn star. This is her. She's a star, bona fide star already. This is her first year in the game. She's a rising adult star. She's already been nominated in her first year for multiple awards. I'm going to tell you who she is in a minute. I want to tell you right now, but she's in studio right now. And when I tell you she is a little firecracker, trust me, it's going to be crazy. When I tell y'all who this is, you got to go tweet her. You got to follow her on Twitter. You got to find her and look at her stuff. It's pretty intense. What about technology? Dr. Mitch, doesn't technology kind of kills intimacy too? Because I know if I'm with my girl or whatever and she's trying to get frisky and I'm texting or I'm on my internet or something like that, she put the damn thing down so I can get into you or get into me. You know, Dr. John Gray once said that intimacy means to see into me, to connect to someone where you can see into them. And it's about connection more so than the act. Do you agree or disagree, Dr. Mitch? Then Dr. Alex Moran.
Well, I mean, I absolutely agree. If you're texting, I'm going to put it back on you, Zoe, because that's the only way to do this. Let's just say you're having an intimate moment. You're hot. You're ready. You're fired up. You're so excited. You're ready to do your thing. Mm-hmm. And suddenly she goes, wait 1 second here. Oh, hold on. Okay, let me just finish this little text message, okay? What do you think?
Yeah, I would be pissed. I would be pissed.
You'd be. Well, first of all, the male ego is bruised so easily. You wouldn't be able to have an erection for 6 weeks after that event. You know it. Because that's what it does. That's what it does to us. So you can imagine us doing it back. I have to tell you, people do that. They're wrapped up in their job. You got to turn your phones off. You got to turn the internet off. You got to put your phone in the other room. You got to turn the sound down. You got to make it special, because the minute you don't, men especially, if a woman does that back to you, it's the old thing when she's looking at the ceiling saying, "Are you done yet?" That's going to definitely kill us.
I'm going to be soft as a yogurt pop as soon as she does that. It's going to be over.
What's Dr.
Really
on
this yogurt thing tonight,
There's a lot of yogurt making in the sex act. Is little to no sex, right, in a relationship, is little to no sex a viable basis for divorce? Dr. Moran.
I would have to say that it absolutely is, because that's showing a lack of intimacy in your relationship. I mean, it's going to go into how prolonged this has gone on, and also how does the couple feel about it? Because a lot of couples are happy going along and about just being best friends, being married, and that's good for them. And, it's all about how do they feel about it, actually.
Yeah, I'm going to need a little friction. Wayne and Dawn are still on the line right now. Dr. Mitch asked you guys earlier, what do you guys do to keep the relationship fresh, to keep the sexuality fresh? And let me ask you this. Are there any off-limits things that you guys won't do? Boundary love. Talk to me. Are they still there?
Okay, boundary love. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, is there something Wayne said and you was like, hold on, pimp? No, that's a little too far.
I'm trying to think that one out.
Like wrong hole, Wayne. Wrong hole.
Yes, that's it.
I'm not getting down like that.
That one will make me jump up. I'm Caribbean and from the South Bronx. Not happening. But wanted to say one of the reasons why we've been together for so long, 18 years. 1, we were friends. 2, we're partners.
I got it. I'm following. Yeah, we're listening to you.
Okay.
This is
1,
you
we're friends. 2, we're partners. And I think the other part is what you had said earlier. It's like we always date. We spend a lot of time together. And because we have children, we start the day together. We're usually doing 50 billion things with them together. And it's weird because it's like they almost know, they're touching again, leave the room. And lastly, like right now, our kids are in bed at 8:30. We've had 2 hours totally together. We start off this way, we end up this way.
Well, let me tell you guys.
The last thing you want to do is touch and hold and squeeze and touch and hold me. Tell me, who wants to go through the performance? It's a performance if you don't have this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me just say, you guys are awesome guests. I appreciate you reaching out to the Voice of Reason. We're here every Thursday. I expect to hear from you next week. Thank you for calling in. You guys made this show great. Okay? Appreciate you. Let's go to the next caller. Freddie from South Carolina. Talk to Dr. Mitch and Dr. Alex Moran. Latasha? Oh, Latasha. Sorry, Freddie. Got to call back in. It's going to be difficult getting back in line, but we expect to hear from you in a few minutes. Latasha, talk to me.
Well, my name is Latasha. I'm from Minnesota, and I'm getting too much sexual activity in my bedroom. My husband is a horny little devil. We've been together. Well, we've been married for 2 years, but we've been together like dating and friends, for about 5. So it's not like this is anything new. I mean, he wants it all the time. In the beginning, when we were like dating, it was fun, exciting. I'm getting sex 3 and 4 times a day, daily. Girls envy me. Now it's like, if you freaking touch me, I'm gonna. I don't know what I'm gonna do to you, but just get the hell away from me. Basically, that's how I feel.
Are you orgasming?
Yes, and it's like it wears me out because then he has these weird peak hours where he wants to, get his groove on. We go to bed kind of late, like around 11 or 12 or whatever, and he wakes up like around 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and he wants sexual activity. So I give it to him.
So let me just hit you with this: would you rather him wear you out or someone else? Because come on now, you know that old adage: if you don't get it done, somebody else will.
I know that, absolutely me, and it's like, I don't know, because it's starting to become a problem, because just like with even doing simple sexual acts to keep my man satisfied is like, it's starting to be a hassle and a problem, so that's what I'm kind of dealing with, and want to know,
Mitch, Dr. Mitch, she needs your help. Talk to her, Doc.
Latasha, I have a question for you, and when you started off, you told us just now that in the beginning it was fun 4 or 5 times a day, and now it's become a pain in the neck for you. I think the question that I need to have answered so I can help you more is, what changed? What is it about then that's not about now? And I think if you answer that, we can try to help you.
That we're doing it every single day.
But you did.
Since the day we met, besides when my 7-day friend is around, that's the only time I get a break down there.
But you knew that.
I'm sorry, Dr. Mitch. Latasha, is this something that you've talked to your partner about or expressed that it's too much for you? What is the good amount for you? What do you feel like that would be better?
If we were going to be doing it every day, at least twice a day, like in the morning and before we go to bed, or every other day, twice a day in the morning and before we go to bed.
So it doesn't sound too unreasonable at all.
Is he packing? Is he tearing up something? Let's figure it out. But she might be uncomfortable. He might be tearing down the little baby apartment. Talk to me. What's happening now?
It's just right. Like, our relationship is really great. I'm attracted to him physically, mentally, but it's just too much freaking sex.
Wow.
Sounds to me like what I'm hearing you say, Latasha, is that he's wanting to initiate sex at times that are inconvenient or just 4 o'clock in the morning.
Isn't it her responsibility as a wife to sex her man whenever the king sees fit?
I don't think it's anyone's responsibility.
Yeah,
everyone's
give it up.
sexuality is their own responsibility.
You shouldn't have jumped a broom with a jackrabbit. It's her fault.
Latasha, how do you feel about him masturbating next to you? Would that be okay?
Been there, did that, done that. I even helped him out with that.
That's
Matter of fact, we had that problem this morning.
It was a problem. Why are you calling it a problem?
Where I had to, because now it has gotten to that point to where I had to, help him masturbate. Because it's starting to be a problem, because it's, too much.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just say, let me do this. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate the call. We're going to continue with your issue. But, hey, you signed up for this. This dude could be a porn star. Let's get him into the game. Okay? Let me just tell you right now, 855-369-98. That's the number to dial, 9898. 855 9898. Follow me on Twitter at ZoWilliams. Follow us on Foxxhole at Foxxhole, Foxxhole. We've got some stats and facts here about the sexless marriages that a lot of people are enduring, man. Now, what we're starting to hear is 15 to 20% of couples have no more sex than 10 times a year. Can you imagine being in a relationship and only had sex 10 times that entire year? Married people have 6.9% more sexual encounters than people who have never been married, according to Newsweek. 20 to 30% of men and 30 to 50% of women say they have little or no sex drive. USA Today. What's going on with the sex drives? Dr. Mitch, you talk a lot about hormones. How does oxytocin and testosterone play? What roles do they play in the sexual drive? I need my people to get to their phone lines right now, 855-369-9898. If you're going through a situation and you need more or less sex in your relationship, somebody call us right now, 855-369-9898. And stay tuned for our special porn star guest. She's going to tell us about how all the married men, how they find their way to her to fulfill their fantasies that they're not getting at home. I'm telling you, homegirl, you better get that man as much as he can get her. He's going to find it somewhere else. 855-369-9898. We're talking about the sexually anorexic marriage. Let's go to the callers. Who do we have right now? Oh no, I'm moving faster than I'm moving faster than I'm supposed to be moving. I'm sorry. Dr. Mitch.
Yes, so
I'm just having so much damn fun here.
You are.
See how the lady talked about an incompatible sex drive. Remember
Right.
we talked about it earlier when I said, and I've studied this, behavior is ambivalent. It's the same behavior. It's the same amount of sex, but the definition of the frequency of it is different. For the woman, it's too much, and for the man, it's probably not enough. And sometimes that situation flips. Sometimes 4 times a week is not enough for the woman, and it's killing the man. How do we reconcile the differences in sex drive in order to maintain high levels of intimacy? Dr. Mitch, then Dr. Alex.
Yeah, before I even tell you that, so it reminds me of a situation once. A guy's lecturing to a huge crowd of people and says, how many in this room have had sex, 20 times a week? A few raise their hands. There's a guy in the corner, very quiet, and he's smiling the whole time. And then they ask how many times people are having sex, maybe twice a month. And finally, how many are having it once a month? And suddenly the guy in the corner still hasn't raised his hand, but he's smiling like nothing else. Come up to him and say, sir, I see you're smiling, but you didn't raise your hands. How often do you have sex? He said, I only have it once a year. He says, so why the hell are you smiling? He says, because today's the day.
Maybe his girdle jam. Who knows?
You never know. But going back to frequency question that you asked. Latasha, we never got a real answer from the young woman. And the point is, you said, look, she signed up for this. I have to tell you, people change. But, they have a very, very strong sex drive. When the sex drive's that strong, and it's 3-4 times a day, often the couple or the male has tremendous stress, and they use it as a stress releaser. That much sex is typically pathologic. I think there's something else that's going on. I mean, it sounds great to us men, and we brag that we can do that, and we think we're cool if we do. But the truth is, it's quite pathologic.
Pause you for 27 seconds here.
Go
Why would that, or who are we to judge what the correct or proper amount of sex is to determine that 3 to 4 times a day is pathologic?
Oh, we're not to judge. But you see, this starts off a relationship, Dr. Alex, in the beginning, and they were going at it all the time and having a great time at this. Suddenly, she's not happy with that anymore. Now, we could take Zoe's position and say, she signed up for this, so, hey, you've got to keep doing this at this rate. Or we could say, hey, wait a minute, is this reality? Is this the reality of this couple? They're going to have to sit down and figure out. I don't care personally if someone does it 10 times a day if it's great for both of them. But it's obviously it's a real problem for her.
it's just that does sound like it's a problem for her, but I always want to, be careful when we as medical professionals or, in the sexual health realm to say those kind of words because, we don't want someone to feel that because they want to have sex 3 to 4 times a day that something is wrong with them. The variety of sexual libidos is such a huge spectrum.
Right, but that goes back to my point initially that behavior is ambivalent. What is oversexed to one person
absolutely
may not be to another person. It's subjective.
Absolutely.
But the reason why I say, and it's not my position that she signed up for, but that is the position of the traditional-minded person who wants the marriage thing. And sickness and health and all of these corny little template beliefs that they have in place, you got to do it because that's your duty as a woman. That's not my position. That's the position of traditionalism as it's wrapped around this monogamy and marriage thing. My thing is, if you feel like doing it, that's when you're going to have the best sex. When you don't feel like doing it and you feel obligated, that's when you're going to have the dryness and the cracker feeling in the yogurt box. You want the yogurt box to be fluid. That's all I'm saying.
I like that.
Let me give you guys a few tips really quickly when trying to identify the causes of sexless marriage. Like Dr. Mitch said before, there are biological changes in both men and women. Depression, children come into play. You have to factor them into the scheduling and timing, things of that nature. Lack of energy and fatigue, sleep deprivation. Here's a big one. Lack of respect or trust in the relationship, jealousy and resentment. And then on top of that, loss of self-esteem. A lot of times that happens after the woman has the baby and she's not comfortable with her body, right? 855-369-9898. We're talking about the sexless marriage. We've got another caller online. Dr. Mitch, are you ready to deal with this person?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Dr. Alex, is your gun loaded?
Locked and loaded.
There we go. Kevin from Kentucky. Talk about it, man. Kevin disappeared. Chris. No Chris.
We're
no
checking,
Kevin.
baby.
What's up, Chris? What's happening, man?
I'm shining, baby. How about yourself?
Hey, I love the answer. I'm shining right with you, pimp.
Already. Now, first off, I want to begin by addressing the young lady that just called in. I believe her name was Lakeisha.
Uh-huh.
Now, first of all, Lakeisha, if you're still listening, the way you got that man to marry you was by being a freak. Now, all of the stuff that you did, just all of the stuff you did got you that ring. Now, just like women tell us, if you go get me flowers, you go take me out to dinner, you go do all of this kind of stuff, the stuff you do at the beginning, you got to keep on doing. Now, you was a hoe when you met him. You got to keep on being a hoe. Now,
hey, you got to be a hoe in the bed for your husband. I agree with him. Hoe it up in the bed, wifey. That's a good point. I love it, man. Thank you for the call, Chris. AJ from Missouri, what do you think?
Hello?
Yeah, you here, babe.
Oh, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
I was just saying that I don't get it enough.
You don't get it enough? How often do you get it?
Maybe twice a week.
That ain't enough.
And
now,
when we go out, only when we go out. And we go out on the weekends.
Are you the side girl or the main girl?
The main girl.
Are you sure?
I mean, it's kind of
You
like,
might want to find his cell phone. Just go ahead and go through the cell phone. See what else is cracking. See what else is cracking, AJ. Come on.
Is that what I need to do?
I'm just saying. Because, I mean, does he look at it as that's enough for you? Is he satisfied? Is he fulfilled?
He was like, you always want it all the time, and I mean, why not?
Okay, so let me ask you this. Have you contemplated cheating to get it somewhere else?
It's been on my mind.
I know it has.
Then again, it's too many diseases and all kind of other stuff that plays a part, and, I don't want to.
But is that going to stop you, AJ?
That's not going to stop me.
Yeah, I'm just saying, is that going to stop you? There being diseases and all that. Is that going to stop you?
For a while it will, but pretty soon.
AJ, are you are you cohabitating, or are you guys married, or are you just dating at this point? AJ?
Hello? Yeah, we've been married for 10 months, and before we were married, it was like every day, all day.
But look, like I'm going to stick with you signed up. You signed up for the twice a week package. If you wanted a different package, you should have negotiated the terms in the beginning. Listen here, twice a week package, I'm going to need 3.5. 2 and a quickie. But you didn't do that. You got what you got.
Oh, wow.
And 10 months later, you thinking about cheating. Dr. Mitch, handle her situation.
Hey, AJ, do you still feel sexy?
Yes.
Okay. You know, listening to all the people that called, one of the things that we need to be promoting is these couples need to communicate with each other. Without telling or talking to your partner, how is he or she going to know what your needs are? And, you know, the thing that always worries me about relationships that are built just on sex, and hopefully they never are, but it's sort of the icing on the cake, sooner or later, one of the couples, sooner or later, is going to have some sort of problem. And what will happen if a guy gets prostate cancer and loses his prostate, can't perform anymore? Wow. Or a woman gets one of the, the vagininities where they can't perform as much or can't before. Is the relationship going to be over? So this relationship has to be built on a lot more other things and then the icing on the cake. But I think the best thing that we could tell you, AJ, and Dr. Alex could chime in on this, of course, I think couples need to communicate their needs, their wants, and if they can't do it on your own, then you need to seek professional help or someone that can help you to speak to each other. And that's because things do change. Someone may want less sex, someone may want more, but if it's not communicated, it's a problem.
There's Dr. Alex.
Latasha, was the sex always this way when you were first dating before you got married? Was it more frequent than it is now?
Yeah, it was like more frequent, but before we even got in a relationship, we're really good friends. We are really good friends. It's just kind of like...
Well, so when you say, was there something that changed besides a marriage, a job change, anything like that might be more stressful for him? That, maybe he's not feeling, maybe he gained a couple pounds. Is there anything that might, be making it so you think, from your perspective, he's not, having such a high drive anymore?
I think it does play a role because he works for me.
Okay.
She done zapped it all out of him.
Sometimes he always tries to. I mean, I try to tell him all the time, you're still the man, you're still, the king. Ooh. But I think that might have, but it shouldn't matter because even though he works for me, it's still our money. You know what I mean?
Right, but we know in the traditional sense of a male, that emasculation of just the fact that he,
my
is
wife
having
is
to
my
let
boss. How can I get up
run
for
the
this?
show? You can keep telling him that, but it sounds like if that's something that's new, maybe it's something that is affecting the way that he's feeling about himself.
Man, intimacy is a real fine blend of attraction, of emotional intelligence, of your own personal knowledge of yourself. I mean, a lot of times people can't be themselves, and if you can't be themselves, how can you be intimate? Because I think intimacy is directly connected to vulnerability. And a lot of times people who can't be vulnerable, who can't be open, who can't open up, experience some really whack sexual exchanges. That's just me. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to take a quick break. We're talking about the sexually anorexic, the sexless marriage. It happens all over America. A lot of people are in trouble. But when we come back, joining Dr. Mitch and Dr. Alex Moran. Dr. Alex Moran, if you just tuned in, is a sex doctor. She's a sexologist. And Dr. Mitch is the newest Foxxhole host. Yeah. He is coming on July 11th. His show will air every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., incredible show. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Sheena Easton in the background, produced by Prince. I wonder if your sugar walls are dry. We're talking about the sexless marriage tonight. Somebody call me at 855-369-9898. Coming back, rising porn star. I'm going to tell you who she is. Rush to your Twitters at ZoWilliams. I'll be back. Does Teddy P set the mood for you? We got to set the mood. How does music play into the intimacy building process? I'm going to tell you right now, Teddy Pendergrass is telling you, turn them off. He was yelling. He made a lot of women cream up real good. Teddy P was a genius. If you just tuned in to the voice of reason, Zometheus Rising, Foxxhole Radio, Sirius XM Satellite Radio. We're on right now. It's crazy. The Sexually Anorexic Marriage. Tips on how to rekindle passion and intimacy into a comatose love life. And apparently a lot of people are going through it right now. A lot of people are living a sexless life. We've got none other than new Foxxhole host, Dr. Mitch is in the building. You know his new show will air July 11th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a weekly show every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's a daily show. Thank you. Thank you, Guy Black. Guy Black, keep me on point. It's a daily show. All week long, you're going to hear Dr. Mitch. He has great insight, great information. We're going to talk about some of the chemicals that lowers testosterone. We're going to talk about how testosterone deals with sex drive. But before we do that, Lord have mercy, we've got to introduce a special guest. And I asked this question earlier. I mean, how pornography either raises the intimacy thermostat in your bedroom or lowers it. And we're going to talk about the pros and cons of how pornography is tied into intimacy. And it's crazy. We've got someone who can speak on it firsthand. She's a rising adult star, nominated for 3 awards in her first year of action. Wow, she must have been putting in work. Yeesh. Follow her on Twitter. Let me tell you exactly who she is right now. Get to your pages, Twitter pages. Hit her up right now at Imani Rose XXX. Ladies and gentlemen, none other than new porn star starlet Imani Rose is in the building. What up, Imani?
Hey.
Damn. She's Louisa. How does it work, man? Listen, you're in a relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your job is humpalacious. It's what you do. You get paid to hump. So I'm just serious. Like, how would you keep the intimacy fresh and new in your relationship if your job is to have sex?
See, now with it being my job, it's like I'm acting. I'm putting on an act. So I still have opportunities to create in my own personal relationship, that creativity, that intimacy, that spiritual connection.
So there's no spiritual connection when you're working?
No, unless I was in love with that person I was having sex with. But like I said, it's an act.
Have you ever been with John E. Depp?
No, I sucked on his penis.
Do you think he's acting when you're doing that?
Yes, he is, but he can connect to himself emotionally, and he gave a great cum shot when he did that.
This is deep. This is deep. Dr. Mitch, are there some pros and cons to the pornography side of intimacy? Is there any medical understanding of how that could be disadvantageous to the development of intimacy?
I think it really depends on the couples, though. You know, I have lots of patients who tell me they watch either singularly or together pornography to get them started in the bedroom. Lots of people use it as a startup engine. Others, other women or men say, no, I don't like it and I won't watch it, and it doesn't do anything for me. So it really depends on the particular relationship. I have a gentleman just last week who asked me, hey, listen, Dr. Mitch, I for me to get started, I've got to watch pornography for like a half hour, and then I go into the bedroom. I said, what does your wife think? He says, well, she says, fine, whatever it takes. So for their relationship, it works. Obviously, watching and does something. It turns on the hormones. It revs up the testosterone levels. It gets someone prepared, both male and female. And for certain couples, it's a good way of going. But I have a question, for Imani. And I'm from a male perspective, since that's your job, does the men you take on must have an amazing self-esteem, or they would probably be ego bruised all the time, I would think. What happens in your relationship? Are these guys like really self-assured that they can handle that, or don't they watch even see your performances?
And you know what? I'm single, so that can answer a lot of that question.
Yeah, because I would be bruised up.
My dating life is pretty interesting because men are always intimidated by what I do, and they don't think that they can size up to the occasion. And it's really not. I'm not looking for that. I mean, I perform it as a job. I want to be creative. I want to be with someone, after I do all these sexy films. So,
but they're not sexy. They're sex. It's just straight up. That's what it is. They are sexy. Yeah, they're sexy too. I can't front. Yeah. Wow.
So I just want to chime in real quick, and I have to agree with Dr. Mitch. I mean, definitely it depends on the couple, but watching porn can be really fun for the couple. It's one of those things when we're talking about tips on how to spice up a relationship, of course, both parties have to be open to it, but you pop on a video and, hey, for fun, let's do what they do. Okay, when they change positions, we're going to change positions, do the kind of stuff. And it's kind of like role playing. You go into these different characters. Yeah, normally I might not like to participate in having, semen sprayed all over my face. But for right now, we're going to do it.
And you can cut that out.
It's, it's part of the fun of doing things differently. Of course, you got to, like Dr. Mitch said earlier, communicate about if there are any certain boundaries. However, it can be a really fun way to spice things up.
You know what it's like? To me, I love this. I like what Alex just said. It sounds like it's like paint by the numbers. Watch what they do and follow 1, 2, 3. I think if they put on the screen like number 1, number 2, it kind of be kind of cool. I would think that way.
Like porn twister.
They do something
you did.
Right.
It's crazy, man. This is a great show right now. I'm really appreciating all of the contributions. Can we get some callers? I want you guys to interact with the callers. Imani Rose, if you want to speak to her right now and ask her what her favorite position is. Maybe you can duplicate that at the crib. I don't know. Maybe that's the spark your dull relationship sexually is needing. I don't know. Talk to me right now. 855-369-9898. That's the number to dial. Lucy from California, you're on. Let's go.
Hi.
Hey.
I've been married for 6 years. I've been with my husband now for 12. I'm 32 years old, so I met him when I was 20. I was still in college. He's 10 years older than I am. And when we first met, it was regular sex, was regular by frequency. I mean, it was common, frequent. And but we didn't see each other all the time because I was in college and he had a job and was working. And so maybe it seemed like it was all the time. It was when we saw each other. That went on for a couple of years until I graduated, and then I moved in with him, and it was still fairly frequent. But over the course of our relationship, it got less and less frequent, and I have a high sex drive, and he just didn't seem to want to have sex, and so my self-esteem went way down, and I started gaining weight, and basically kind of tried to make myself unattractive to the opposite sex so that I wouldn't be tempted to stray from my marriage looking for sex because I'm lonely. And then, and I went to him so many times and said, what can I do? What can we do to make this better? Try to talk it out. And he kept telling me it's not you, it's stress. And then finally, after we hadn't had sex for over a year, we didn't have birthday sex. We didn't have anniversary sex. At least the special occasions where you think you might get a little something. Yeah. We didn't have anything. And I finally said to him, it has to be something more than stress. Something has to be, wrong. And he finally admitted to me that I was too fat. But it didn't make sense because I wasn't fat.
You got that way because of the frequency. Wow. What do you guys think of that?
Mitch? It's Dr. Mitch. First of all, I think you need to look at one thing. He's 10 years older than you are. At 42, the hormones are already breaking off, Lucy. So he needs to have someone, an integrative type of doctor, get a saliva or blood hormone levels done on. I'm going to bet that his testosterone is already broken off. It's worth a look because if that's the case, you can bring back a lot of this interest. I mean, 1 year with no interest, and he had good interest before, something has gone awry. And I think
Dr.
you
Mitch.
need to check that. Yes.
This is Dr. Alex here. One thing that we notice is if we just look at the pharmaceutical industry right now, everyone's always trying to find a quick, prescription for everything and just what can we prescribe without jumping into really what's the reasons. Marriage is one of those items. I mean, how many facets are of a marriage? Your job, your stress, your this, your that. We can't jump to the conclusion that something is physically wrong with him. If he's saying to you, if he's expressing to you, my curiosity is what types of things have you tried or what types of things have you actually done, to try to spice it up or try to bring the sex back into the marriage. Do you know what he is? Have you asked him if he's still wanting it, or how is he feel like he wants to have sex with someone and it's just not you? Or what was the discussion like when he opened up about it?
First of all, it was probably the most painful thing I've ever had to listen to, because like I said, my self-esteem was already at a low point. And when he finally, I had my assumptions, but when he finally came clean and told me, for one thing that he wasn't attracted to me anymore, that was painful. But what it came down to, the other thing he said was, I work so much, I don't want, I'm tired, I'm stressed out, I don't want to have, sex. It's so much effort and it's not worth putting the effort in. So then I said, but I know that you're looking at porn online. So I know you're masturbating, which is honestly, I have no issues with porn. I've tried to bring porn into the bedroom. I don't have an issue with porn. But I said, but the difference is when you're using porn to jack off, but you're not using me. I'm right here.
And that kind of, is part of the answer to our question there, because it's not that he's not having a desire, right? He's still having it, because if he's masturbating, he's still having, some kind of libido. It's just being redirected.
Let's do it this way, because Imani Rose is a porn star, and they're in the business of sexual fantasies. Maybe his wife, his woman, who's gotten heavier, he expressed that, and it's a crazy, we know why she got heavier, but now he's using that as the excuse for saying she's not hot no more. Maybe Imani Rose is the new fantasy. How does porn work as a fantasy for these people?
I run into a lot of men that are married, and they tell me things that I don't want to hear, but I hear what their deep desires are. And some men are just into young women. They don't want the woman to age. They want her to always be young and vibrant, and they'll keep, trying to find new ways, whether it's through cheating or through watching porn, to keep that young fantasy in their head. So you may be, wonderful to him, but you were probably better for him. Like when you were 20, you got married to him at 20, right? And he was 30 something.
So let me ask.
Lucy, this is a really painful topic, I'm sure, for you. Yeah. So, we're going to try to be as most sensitive to the topic as possible. I'm sure that conversation was extremely just really hard on you, and I can even hear the pain in your voice as you're talking. Anyway, how is the marriage besides that, besides the sex? I mean, are you guys do you still have fun together? Do you still, how is it?
That's the thing, is that, we're very affectionate towards each other. We cuddle, we kiss, we say I love you all the time. We talk about everything, with the exception of that. It's just that sexual thing is gone. And just to interject really quickly, this whole thing happened, this conversation happened 3 years ago. The day that he told me that, or the night that he told me that and finally came clean, the next day I went to the gym, got a membership, got a trainer, and in 6 months I lost 40 pounds, got banging body back, and you know what? It's still maybe once a month if I'm lucky.
Wow.
So you know what I'm saying? I took that as a constructive criticism of me, and that like you were saying earlier, that it's a woman's job to do certain things for her husband, just like it's a husband's job to do certain things for his wife. And I felt like, you know what, I'm not upholding my end of the bargain. I'm not looking sexy for you. I'm not turning you on. So I'm going to do that. And I went out and did that. And then, it just made it that much harder, because now I'm not getting sex, but I'm getting hit on.
You're a good wife.
I
That
mean?
sounds
You
like
are.
a great wife right
Yes.
there.
And the
He
key-
said you're a little tubby. You need to get on the, the Stairmaster. You did it, tightened it up, and now he still can't seem to find the attraction.
Both parties have got to be willing to work on the situation and have to want to. And if that's not the case, and it's been 3 years, Lucy, I mean,
But you know what this sounds
have
like
to start
to me?
looking at the situation and saying, does he want to work on it? Because if he doesn't,
This sounds like an indictment on marriage, on monogamy. It sounds like just the monotony connected to it is like, I've had enough. And it goes back to the Steve Harvey. Remember Steve Harvey said, no matter how fine that woman is, there's somebody out there that hates her. And it's usually the dude that was dating her. A lot of times when you don't have intimacy building skills, when you don't have a high emotional IQ, when you don't have a high knowledge of self IQ, a lot of times relationships just bog down because you don't have the tools to keep it maintained, to be able to shift, to be able to grow, to be able to be open-minded. A lot of times a relationship is a safe haven, we think, for our problems. We'll say, let's get into this relationship to get away from this issue. But what you fail to realize, relationship is a highly reflective classroom. The moment you get into one, it's going to start reflecting back the issues that you need to work on personally. I'm telling you, if you don't work it out, don't go into a relationship because it's only going to enhance your problems, to me. What do you think, Dr. Mitch?
I have to agree with you. I just want to make one quick comment. I think in this case where we're looking at her interest, I think Dr. Alex brought out the good thing that at least he still has some libido. And Alex, you and I come from a different background because I'm coming from a physiological process. But I have to tell you, most men in the 40s are already having significant break off of their testosterone. And even though they may watch porn, which will raise the testosterone level to some degree because of the ongoing incitement. For a $25 test, which is really nothing, it's worth in also working on the psychological factors and the communication factors that you brought up. But it would be silly for them not to check that out as well. He's 10 years her senior, and at that point, because of all the environmental stresses and what people are going through now, we need to maintain levels that are 3/4 of that when we were 25. He's in his 40s. That's when male andropause begins. If we dismiss that,
Really quickly, Dr.
Mitch,
Mitch, really quickly, explain andropause and how that affects the sex drive. We need to know this.
Well, andropause is basically the male counterpart of menopause, and it is a physiological process that goes on. What happens is we begin, us men, to lose the levels of testosterone from when we were the healthiest. We are clearly the healthiest between 18 and 25. That's when our levels are the highest. That's when you hear the male being interested in lots of sex and so forth and so on. As we age, once we hit the 40s, we are already breaking off. As a matter of fact, from 26 years old and onward, we're literally dying. So when we hit the
Dr. Mitch.
I know.
We feel really good about this information right now. Should I go out back and dig my grave right now? It's almost time for me to kick the bucket here.
No, ask Guy Black to get you a nice coffin. He'll pick you out a nice one. Don't worry about it. So,
saying I'm getting one too? What are you talking about?
No. I didn't say you, Guy. I just said pick out one for Zoe. That's it. So, I mean, what you have to look at is there are processes and there's changes. We always have to look at both ends of the spectrum. We have to look at the psychological, which is part of this andropause situation, but also there is a physiological change. We have hormonal changes. One that is very specific to the male at that time and also to the female is the beginning of the lack of or the decrease of testosterone. And when that happens, our drives will change. That doesn't mean we can't watch porno and get a drive. It doesn't mean if we take the time to have long foreplay, we can't get a testosterone rise. It doesn't mean if an 18-year-old comes by on a 45-year-old guy that's in the same marriage for 20 years, won't give him a drive. But the idea is to maintain the healthy levels. Not, by the way, just for the sex drive, but good testosterone levels lend itself to clear thinking, heart health, and bone health, which is so often overlooked. But andropause is a real situation. We need to, and it's so cheap to take a test that it's worth adding that into the list.
Hey, that's good stuff, Dr. Mitch. And they say that sex only makes up 3% of your relationship. But I think it's the most dominant 3% we've ever seen. It's the most powerful 3%. I've done my research. We got to get these callers in. And if you want to talk to Imani Rose, you guys should look her up. At Imani Rose, XXX on Twitter. Look her up. Look up her work. Hey, she's in the building right now. You want to call her and get your fantasy up? Would you do a little phone sex for our people today? Whoever wants a phone sex call right now. Right now, if you need your libido jump-started, right now, 855-369-9898. We're going to start with Andre from Illinois. Andre, you're in the building. Let's talk.
Hey, I disagree with Dr. Mitch. I'm 58, and my testosterone is very high.
Did you have the test?
I don't need no goddamn test. All I got to do is look at the pussy. And
that's what I love about black people. I ain't going to never walk into a doctor's office. You understand me? I see a little piece of something, and I get rock ready. Rock ready.
Right. That's right. But my problem right now is that it has nothing to do. Mother Nature has taken over my wife, and, she has those cold and hot flashes. And, man, nobody ever told me about that.
Wow.
Hello?
Wow. No, I hear you. Sometimes menopause is an issue for women that's getting older. But you know what? Isn't the sex on the increase with the older population because of the advent of Viagra? A lot of old men.
That's one of the highest rate of infection for STDs right now is in the older population over 50.
Oldie
Is
locks.
that right, Dr. Mitch?
It is, and to answer Andre's question, first of all, man, if you still have a great sex drive, God bless you. I think it's great. You're my hero. But at 58, you may or may not still have a peaking testosterone. You should still have it checked because it's involved in so many other things in the body. Just so you know, there isn't a cell in your entire body that does not have a testosterone receptor. In addition, your wife, which is why you're calling, I don't think we've answered that, and I think we need to give her an answer. And that's the same thing. In menopause, women's estrogen begins to change. It decreases. Their progesterone is really the first hormone to decrease. It starts in the 30s. And again, here's an example of if she's gone through hot flashes, you got to make a choice for her because, when women go through this, it's hard for them. It's difficult for them. They can't sleep. They have night sweats. They don't feel sexy often. They begin to get thinning of the vagina. And when they do, there's other things that may follow, Andre, from, pelvic pain, painful intercourse, and things like that we can discuss. So she, too, as you should be, a candidate for at least examining her hormone status. And if she's healthy enough, it could be replaced safely. And you'll find the hot flashes will stop in less than a week if you have it put back together, and then the sex drive will come back with it. So
this is good stuff.
Think about that, too.
This is good stuff. We got to take a quick break, but callers, if you want to have your sex, would you do that for us, Imani?
I will do some phone sex if someone calls in. I can do that.
Sexual healing is
healing.
In the building. Ladies and gentlemen, Foxxhole Radio, Zomithi is rising. ZoWilliams, the voice of reason. Tonight's topic, the Sexually Anorexic Show. We're really trying to raise the IQ, the intimacy IQ of the listeners tonight. We're going to give you some tips on how to bring it back, how to re-spark it. Maybe this one record with a little rose petals in the toilet. In the toilet? In the tub. Right? Maybe rose petals on the bedroom. I don't know. Maybe the King of Zamunda effect. I should take a break. I was trying to build it. I don't know. I'm not sexy. Call me back, ladies and gentlemen, 855-369-9898. I'm going to callers. Reach out to Imani Rose, Dr. Mitch, and Dr. Alex. We're having a great time. I'll be back in 2.2. Ladies and gentlemen, Zomithi is rising. The voice of reason on Foxxhole Radio, Sirius XM 98 has returned. Tonight's topic, the sexually anorexic marriage. How many of you guys are out there in a sexless relationship? How many of your, intimacy boats have sprung a leak? A lot of people are in trouble not having sex. It's a cold situation. Dr. Mitch, we have Dr. Mitch, of course, who's incredible, new Foxxhole host. You guys got to tune into him. You know, it's a daily show, Monday through Friday. It's going to debut July 11th, Monday, which is a Monday. Again, he's incredible. He's our resident doctor on the Foxxhole. We just did an incredible show in Atlantic City. We killed. I'm here in studio with Dr. Alex Moran, our resident sexologist, and up and coming new sex starlet, porn star, Imani Rose. Imani Rose is going to be doing some phone sex with us really quickly. I suggest all of the truck drivers, if you don't want to ruin your pants, take them off and just drive. Nobody will know. You know, call me, 855-369-9898. That's the number to dial. Imani Rose is going to do some phone sex, and Dr. Mitch is going to give us, a breakdown of the top ED supplements that are out there. And, of course, we're going to take callers. So, really quickly, just give them a gift. Can the guys, the truck drivers who are trafficking all of the products we buy every day, can you give them a treat, Imani Rose? And if you want to talk to her, 855-369-9898. That's the number to dial. Imani, could you turn us all on? We want, for Johnny Mac, we want pockets full of DNA. Let's go.
Are you ready? Okay, good. So I'm standing there looking at you, watching you watch me. I'm in my robe, just got out the shower, wet, dripping, brown mocha skin. I'm glistening to you. I appreciate you looking at my body. I want you to come here and touch me. Come closer. As you come closer, begin to rub against my silk robe that's wrapped around my chocolate body.
Yes, yes.
Kiss me. Kiss me on my neck.
Go deeper.
Take off my robe.
Okay, I'm tapping out.
No, leave it alone. Come on, stop. Keep going. Describe the whole scene.
Take off my robe. Kiss me again. Kiss me on my neck. Take your hands and touch between my thighs. I'm so warm. I'm so wet.
Wait, okay, I gotta stop now. Dr. Mitch, does this help? If my woman did that to me, I think I would be ready. I think I would be ready. Just talk to me a little bit.
That's a great morning breakfast for your man.
Wow. I just fainted, so I missed most of it after she got to that. So I got to get a cup of coffee and revive here. Someone smack me, will you? Okay.
I was really hoping we could turn up the air conditioning in here for all of us in general.
It is a little hot.
I want to tell you, Monty, my deodorant just wore off. My whole thing just finished. So I'm telling you, okay, I'm back. So was there a question that I missed while I was fainting?
Yeah, because I blacked out right with you.
My pockets are full.
Right. I heard I'm soggy over here.
I mean, I hear Guy Black tapping out like it's a wrestling match. I went crazy. You know?
It was for me.
So Dr. Mitch and of course Dr. Alex Moran, I need you to chime in as well. ED supplements. Are they good or bad? I mean, what are some of the... Of course, we know what the upside is, but are there some problems there, too? Talk to me, Dr. Mitch.
Well, I'm going to tell you first. Before you start going to the supplements, you have to first find out what the cause is of the erectile dysfunction. There are some major causes, and unless you find out, the supplement can maybe or may not do anything. And I think that's the first thing, Zoe. We have to look at that. If you like, I'd be glad to get into some of the major causes of erectile dysfunction.
Yes.
The treatment would be very different. Well, let me give you a quick top 10 out of my mind what I think are the ones that we need to look at. One, of course, is the largest factor. I'll leave for Dr. Alex, so she's the expert. That's this, the psychological component. The ones that are physiologic are everything from hormone disbalance, circulation going bad, and the penis has a small artery, so if it's going bad elsewhere in the body, it's going to take the toll first. Neurologic damage, people that have had damage to their back, if they've got herniated discs in the low sacral area, and it takes S1, S2, and S3 to basically get an erection, and that's been damaged, it's a problem. Smokers, alcohol abusers, that's another reason. if someone's had trauma to the area, that could definitely change their capability as well.
What do you mean trauma? Like a kick to the
a
old
kink or a kick, or if they've had a car accident, who knows, a fall, who knows what it could have caused it. That could basically change the capability and also the blood flow to that region, and they may not be able to get a good erection. And then there are diseases like diabetes, stroke, which you're aware of, even respiratory diseases, epilepsy. And then there's a big category that folks don't think about, except they start to complain about it, and often physicians will miss it. And that's medications. I mean, everything from antidepressants and, anti-hypertensive drugs for high blood pressure. Even marijuana smoking can and has been shown to affect erectile function as well. And then, of course, there are mineral deficiencies, specifically zinc, because it's a precursor to testosterone. Now, if you go get, let's say, a product that has like horny goat weed in it, for example, which is pretty common over-the-counter type of thing, and you have circulation embarrassment, you don't have enough blood going down there, it's not working for you. On the other hand, if you have circulation embarrassment also, you may, the things like Viagra and things may not work. If it's hormonal, then if you don't put back the hormones, then taking any of these other type of supplements are not going to do it. So just going out and buying a supplement is not the right way to go. The right way is to get a determinant exactly where the issue is, and there may be more than one, but at least find out where that is and then get that corrected. If it's psychological,
That's
if
good
it's a
stuff.
problem, then you need to see someone like Dr. Alex, let her work with you through this. If it has some of the other components to it, then you need to deal with that too. Because if you have a medication that's causing a problem, like an antidepressant, you could take 100 other things, do 100,
and it won't work. Yeah,
it's not going to help you, and that's the key. You got to find
That's
out
good stuff.
what's the root cause.
That's good stuff. Alex Moran, Doc.
And we always say that anxiety is the #1 killer of erections. If you're having something, highly stressful event going in your life, or let's say, kind of like you mentioned earlier, Dr. Mitch, something happens and you have an extreme ego bruise, or your penis doesn't react one time even, then all the time you're in your head thinking, okay, when she touches me, is my penis going to get hard? Oh, great, she's touching me. My penis is not getting hard. I wonder if she touches me 2 more times, is my penis going to get hard? And you're not at all in your body.
Dudes
You've taken
think like
yourself.
that? I mean, have you experienced someone like a client or a patient? Have you experienced someone like that?
Oh, several patients, absolutely. I mean, that's the coin term, performance anxiety. It's because you've now taken yourself out of your body and you're just in your head all the time. And women do as well, to be honest. When you're thinking you have a man asking you, and this is, we're great actresses, right? This is some interesting statistics is on self-reporting and asking couples, or when was the last time that your last sexual experience, did you have an orgasm, or did your partner experience orgasm? Asking about the woman. And 79% of men said, absolutely, my partner did. And only 42% of women said, I did.
So you guys are lying.
You
guys are lying about when you.
Yeah, we're good to go. But then you're getting into the situation where the partner, every time the man is saying, okay, have you came yet? Are you coming yet? Are you close? Are you going to go? Are you there? Well, okay. So now there's this immense pressure. So it's the same thing for men and women. You have this intense pressure to come,
right,
and then you're never going to, because it's all you're thinking about.
Dr. Alex, I have a question for Dr. Alex. It's something that's been in my mind. I don't know if it's true in your field. You would know. I think, and I don't know, is there a lot of pressure, and I know the expression performance anxiety, is there a lot of performance anxiety on men now? They go to a bar, they go to a place, they're listening to music, they find someone, and it's that same night they have to perform. Are we seeing, and because I've heard it so many times from patients, but are you seeing that too, that men are having more difficulty performing right out of the gate, so to speak?
I actually find the opposite, or with the patients that I've dealt with, it's more of the person that they actually care about, that they're wondering, because Zoe, maybe you can chime in on this. If you care, if you're putting pressure on yourself,
like you
to
really
perform.
want to perform
right,
at the top of your game.
You know what? I've been seeing this girl for the past 6 months. She is so hot. Oh, I can't wait to give her the business. And then you get your opportunity, and you got crickets. It's more of something where there's a built up, a built up anxiety where that tends to happen.
Imani, have you experienced that in some of the male performers who are like, I can't wait to get a piece of this little brown tasty taste, and then when they finally get it, bust offs?
Oh, yes, I have. And it's unfortunate because, when we're on set, the director's like, you need to hurry the fuck up.
Really?
It's not like, and it's a lot of pressure on them, especially when you're a new male talent, newcomer into the business. You get a lot of you get a lot of
newcomer.
You get a lot of pressure on you, and it's like you want to have sex with this beautiful, sexy girl, but you have the director bothering you, have the lights bothering you. You want to make sure you do the positions right because you want to make sure you get paid. Because if you do not perform, if you do not come when the director wants you to, you don't get paid.
Wow, that's crazy.
Go home.
855-369-9898. Let me do this really quickly. We got callers up the wazoo. Let's go, Guy Trucker. He's from Illinois. Let's talk, Truck.
Hey, what's going on, man? Don't do that again. I gotta clean myself up. Damn.
I'm sorry. We might have her just send us off with a little piece of that.
No,
But go ahead.
Go
ahead, Guy.
I come home every other day, and I try to get as much as I get it in as much as I can. But my wife, she has a thyroid. Takes that medicine for a thyroid. And what can I do to maybe help her out?
Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah, I can answer that for you. If it's a thyroid medication, is it a thyroid medication for a low thyroid, or is it for a hyper or a fast thyroid? Do you know what that answer is, Guy?
Right now she's going through the test phase of it's high right now, so I'm thinking it's hyper.
All right. Then you're right. See, the hyper is more likely to drive away her sex drive because one of the master glands in the body happens to be the thyroid. And when the person's hyperthyroid, it makes them very anxious. It makes them jittery. Their heart's going fast. And within a couple weeks after they give her a couple medications to just slow things down, that should come back to a normal. The sooner that she can get a proper diagnosis, Guy, and the sooner on something to normalize that thyroid, the sooner she'll be back in the sack with you and feeling better.
Oh, that's good stuff.
I also noticed that when she doesn't take the medicine, well, I don't have enough energy to keep up with her crazy, but...
Hey, Guy, thanks for the call, man. We appreciate you reaching out to the Voice of Reason. We got to move quickly. Poet Shafiq, Nebraska. Talk to me, man.
Yo. All
What's
right.
up, bro?
I'm not a selfish guy. So, Imani, this is for you. Gently I stroke as if to arouse all of your senses. I like it hairy or shade. Just keep it neat in its appearance. Some lips come in a deep, rich, dark chocolate in flavor, and some lips come in a cool, juicy pink lemonade with the natural sweetness that God has gave them. Around your lips, my tongue swirls like a bee in a flower. I find it a very good way to pass the evening out. As your juice spills on my tongue, lips, and face, between your honeysuckle, sugar-coated thighs, I play.
Okay, that was poetry for the
Thank
deaf.
you.
That was poetry for the Def Jam.
I like it. Thank you.
All right.
I liked it too as well.
Silly D. Williams just called in.
That was nice. So you gotta give him some credit.
We'll get, Nebraska's in the building.
Please
Thank you
tweet
for
me.
calling. We
Sounded
appreciate-
nice to me.
Tweet me.
Tell them your Twitter page.
Imani Rose, XXX, tweet me right now. We can continue.
Hey,
this.
if you want to call in and
Need to tweet him.
tell her a poem, reach out. Yeah. See what you did to people with the sex talk? You done got everybody riled up.
You
I
told
love
me.
it.
You told me
Tim
to.
from Iowa, you're in the building with the Voice of Reason. Talk to me, Tim.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good,
I guess was telling you, I'm 51 years old. I don't think I have a testosterone problem, but I have a problem because she's not doing the things that I like to do. I mean, I have sex on a regular basis, and I am a truck driver also. But man, I'm a freak. I'm gonna just put it bluntly, And
Well, what is it that you want her to do specifically
like
that she's
the
not
oral
doing?
Thing, she don't get off into that too much, you know what I'm saying? And shoot, I love the oral thing myself. I love it all.
Do you love doing it to her too, and she doesn't want that, or do you just want her to do you?
No, I eat the back out some shit, man. I love it all. Yeah, I ain't no joke.
My back is stiff.
Yeah.
So do you find yourself watching maybe porn, or do you find yourself even maybe cheating because she won't do what you want?
Man, but I kind of do in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm with her, you know, to make me do the things I need to do, I might think there's somebody else I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
Dr. Alex wants to talk to you. Speak, doctor.
Is it only the oral that she doesn't like to do? What else is it that she doesn't like?
Because he said he was a freak.
Right.
Let's validate that.
Absolutely.
That's pretty. I ain't that much of a freak. Now wait a minute. Now.
Oh, now he's conservative. Is this George Bush?
Hell no. No. I mean, I like the oral thing, anal, all that. You know what I'm saying? But
I do that too.
She just like straight sex.
Do you know why she doesn't like oral? Have you asked her? Is there something about it she doesn't like? Is it the taste of the semen? Is it the thought of putting the penis in her mouth?
This is an issue for a lot of people, right?
And this is what it is most of the time, is we don't like to do things that we're not good at, right? So if she doesn't feel confident at it, then she might not be interested in performing it.
Interesting. So how do you build?
Maybe we can get her a class. Maybe
Yeah.
we can go, down to the local Pleasure Chest and take a course. Maybe her and her girlfriends recommend they go get some blowjob lessons. They give those local sex shops.
Well, the lesson is one thing, but how do you build the confidence? How do you build the desire in wanting to do it? Because if she just doesn't want to do it.
And that's another thing. So it depends on what the reason. That's why I was asking if you've asked her what she doesn't like about it.
Yeah, interesting. She just think it's nasty that it shouldn't go in her mouth, you know.
Well, that's the church.
Yes.
Now they have flavored lubes that are specifically for giving blowjobs that maybe if you were to put it on some nice peachy loveliness, she might enjoy the taste more. That salty taste, just that a penis or individuals they give off, it can be off-putting, to be honest.
Wow, just crazy. Some people, and I know some girls. I know some girls who just simply don't want to put it in their mouth. It's just something that ain't cool to them. So how do you reconcile that? And does that kind of behavior lead to a sexless kind of relationship? I don't know. Andy, Louisiana, it's your time to chime. Voice of reason style. Let's go.
All right, so how you doing, man? Glad to hear from you. But I just wanted to get in there, man, and tell you that, I've been me and my wife, we've been together over 24 years. But in this relationship, I have seen her go through a whole array of changes. And in all them changes there, it kind of like sent the marriage up and down. I seen her go through what they call menopause. Hello?
Yeah, you here, brother. We listen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that she went through menopause, and then she tell you, don't want you to touch her. Then she wants you to touch her. You come home, there's always an argument, and I'm a truck driver out on the road. But, I stuck in there with her, and we worked it out. And the main thing he said that you got to be able to speak to her about it. Because I got up and I decided, tired of this, and I spoke to her about it. And once we got together, she realized that, what was happening to the relationship, and then she started to work on it.
That's good stuff,
That's
man.
fantastic.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
That's good stuff. Listen, when you're trying to build intimacy, first off, it takes time to develop intimacy. It's not some instantaneous, we've got time now, let's go. Sometimes, intimacy is like cooking. You got a few ingredients. Sometimes you got to build it up in order for it to get down. A lot of times, especially with women, and Dr. Alex, you can chime in on this. Women are like, metaphorically speaking, an oven. It takes a minute to warm up, but when it gets warm, the heat is there. They're not like microwaves. A lot of times, men are like microwaves. We pop in. Hey, let's go. Time's to do it. Sometimes we got to be able to. A little bump and grind goes a long way. Cuddling. I think cuddling rebuilds intimacy. A lot of dudes don't like cupcaking. But I think cupcaking.
I think a lot of guys love cupcaking. Actually, they just don't want to. They just don't want to come with it.
Yeah, they don't want to bring home all the cupcakes. They just want to eat it at the store.
Hey, and listen, if you've just tuned in, we're having a great conversation here. It's about how 40.5 million Americans are in a sexless relationships. Tonight's topic, the sexually anorexic relationship and or marriage. A lot of people cohabitating, so we're going to do both types. Man, is intimacy just about sex? Can't intimacy be about other things?
Absolutely.
I mean, isn't intimacy about connection?
You think about one of the things you can do to help improve, especially from a man to a woman, is non-sexual touches every day. If you're in a situation
Give me
where
an example of a non-sexual touch.
Coming up and giving us a kiss that's more than 10 seconds long. You know, come and grab a little ass every once in a while.
What if you get, don't touch me? Oh, okay. My bad.
Well, this is the thing. You're going to get the don't touch me when the only time you're trying to touch her is when you want to have sex. And then she's going to be on the defensive because you're not having any other type of physicality in your relationship except for when you're trying to initiate.
Wow. This is good stuff. I love it. Dr. Mitch.
Sir.
You know, and if you guys are just tuning in, you guys got to understand Dr. Mitch is the newest Foxxhole Radio show host. He has his own show that will be premiering July 11th, which is a Monday. This is a daily show, 2-hour show daily, premiering July 11th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Great guy. He's a medical doctor. He's written 4 books, textbooks for other doctors. This is how cold this dude is. I mean, this dude's got a master in everything, a master's degree in everything. He has about 36 masters. He's the doctor's doctor. He's a teacher. He's an educator, and he's ranked in the top 10 of what, doctor? Tell him. I'll let you tell him that. Your top 10 ranking.
Yeah, first of all, I want to tell you, thank you, Mom, for speaking so nicely about me.
Hey, man, shit.
I know. And, well, they say I'm one of the top 10 in integrative or anti-aging medicine in the world. So look, you can't talk about yourself like that, but that's what they say, whoever they is, which is the major organizations. But I'm looking forward to everyone joining me on Mondays, just like you said, from 11 to 1. And what we're going to talk about is look good, feel good, and have great sex. And we're going to do that every day. New topics, new guests, and lots of great ideas. It's an interactive show, and people are going to be able to call in, ask their questions, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to have Zoe on. We're going to have some neat people on.
Hey,
we're going to have
you
fun.
know how we do. You know how we do. So let's do it this way. Tiger from Missouri, or Tigger. I don't know. There's only one Tiger that I know of. But Tiger, speak to us.
Yeah, this Tigger, man. I just called in and coming on the Imani Rose.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, man. I had never heard of you until old boy brought you up. So, I had to Google you real quick.
I bet you did, didn't you?
Yeah. I'm a truck driver, so, I will be getting you tonight.
All right.
Pull over.
Oh.
Enjoy the chocolate cream, baby.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen. I love it. Next caller. Let's keep rolling. We're having a great time here. We're talking about intimacy. And like I was saying earlier about intimacy, I think you guys should understand that there's multiple ways to do it. What about seduction with food? Talk to me, Dr. Alex. How does food come into play in building intimacy? What can couples do to diversify, the intimacy? How do they do it? How does food play into it?
Well, we all know about the use of whipped cream.
Can we have 2 examples of how to use whipped cream? Somebody may not know. Give us an example.
Are we being serious?
I'm dead ass.
Okay. Well, if you want to use any kind of food, might you get some strawberry glaze, something, and use it to paint on the body and then lick those spots off. That's a fun little spicy thing that you could do. How about Imani Rose tell us one of the things she's done?
Have you ever done any food porn?
Yes, I have.
Give us an example of what you did.
You know, and I didn't use whipped cream, but I love to use that to tell the man, this is where I want you to kiss me. So follow the whipped cream to the wonderful place of. Anyways, in one of my
whipped cream GPS, I got it.
I did a scene where I was pretending to be a wife, and we were trying to rekindle our marriage. It was our anniversary. He wanted to do anal. I was not ready, so I introduced some sushi to him. Cooked sushi for him in the scene, and he had to eat it off of my body because I wanted just the affection. And then we went into the tub play, bubble baths, and then we got down to the anal sex.
Wow.
Chocolate actually releases.
And nice segment. Nice little segue. And chocolate does something.
Actually releases similar endorphins in the body, a similar response as an orgasm does for a woman. It gets that nice, warm, tingly feeling. They say that's why women are sitting there chowing down like nobody's business. That's maybe why Lucy, put on a couple pounds. Because she was trying to replace that feeling.
Do you think it's sexy to say, like, have your girl give you a shave?
Is it sexy?
Like, shave me up, babe. I think that's in a nice little French
him
maid.
shaving her up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's fun, playful things to do together.
But
Regardless of what
it's going to go
is,
bad
right?
if you cut her, though.
Yeah, probably not.
Nigga,
they
stop
got,
the
They got the
goddammit.
bikini shavers with guards nowadays. Go pick one of those up so you can.
Hey, that's a good look.
Yeah.
Big Ray from Houston, you're our last caller, man.
Doing
Big
tonight?
Ray, talk to me, Big Ray. Let's go.
You got a great show tonight, brother.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
I got a question for the doctor.
Hey, turn your radio down, Big Ray, just a little bit, please.
Okay, hold on.
We got 2 minutes. You got to make this quick, brother.
Yeah, I have a fruit question for the doctor.
Got to use just one. Give me your best question right now. We got 30 seconds.
Okay, I turned over an 18-wheeler, and they gave me some steroid shots in my back, and it messed with my nature. Is that normal?
It's not normal, Ray, to answer your question. What might have happened, it could have irritated the nerves that actually cause an erection. And the truth is, if that continues, you need to go back to that doctor and find out if they did the procedure correctly or the cortisone itself irritated the nerves. I wish we had more time, but check me out on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. We could talk more, Ray, okay?
Yo, this has been an incredible show. I want to thank Dr. Alex Moran. Whenever she's in town, she provides great information. We appreciate her greatly. I want to thank my good friend, my new friend, Dr. Mitch. We had a great time in Atlantic City, and I welcome you formally to the Foxxhole family. I urge all of my listeners to listen to him. It's going to be a great show. He's a great guy, as you've seen tonight. And I want to thank Imani Rose. I mean, damn.
Thank you.
She just melted all over the show here. Follow us all at Foxxhole on Twitter, FOXXHOLE, at ZoWilliams, ZOWILLIAMS, and at Imani Rose, XXX. Follow us all, man. We're having a great time. I appreciate all my callers. This was a great show. Dr. Alex, website, where people can find you. She's great as well, and she's gorgeous. Please follow her on Facebook if she would give that information.
You can reach me at Dr. Alex, the number 4, and the letter U at gmail.com. Please send me any of your questions. Website's under construction right now, but definitely please send me any emails that I can help you out with anything.
Wow, that was good stuff. And let me just, wrap the show really quickly. You got to understand each other's individuality and personality traits when you want to develop intimacy. You got to overcome fear. Okay? This is the person you probably chose to spend, rest of your life with. This is a great relationship. If it's a great relationship, you should be fearless in the development of intimacy. And it requires you to be vulnerable. The real you. Not the image, not the idea of who you think you are. You got to be the real you. You got to demonstrate caring. You've got to be an excellent listener. A lot of times intimacy is blocked because people do not express their desires. They don't express what they want. They feel like if I tell you something, you're going to judge me. So now you got to be able to communicate with non-judgmental, open communication. Hey, babe, I want to get waxed off a blowjob every day. That's what I want. Now, if I don't say that to you because I feel like if I say that to you, I might offend you, or I might be seen as a freak, or I might, cross a line. We got to be able to open up the lines of communication to where we're not judging each other for sharing what it is that we want, because that old adage is still there. If you're not giving it to me, somebody gonna give it to me. And it might be wrong, it might be whatever, but somebody gonna give it to me. This has been the Voice of Reason. We like to challenge you with the topics. We had a great time tonight. I appreciate everybody. Follow me on Twitter at ZoWilliams. Find me on Facebook. And also, you can find me here next week. ZoWilliams, the Voice of Reason, is out. Peace.